I don't move my hand. Leave it.
Any discomfort? Yeah.
So, I guess all of you are clients of this nice facility. I am jealous because I just had a wonderful 2 hours over here. And I actually asked one of the physios, is that sensory chamber more expensive than a Merc? He said, sir, I don't know. So I've got to ask Kunal and Nikita, is it? Because the thought process over here is, for me, if you come to my clinic in Bangalore where I do nutrition, there's a statement on the board outside as you enter. Your body is the most expensive real estate you will ever own. I'll repeat that. Your body is the most expensive real estate you will ever own. Unfortunately, in today's world, all of us have the necessary thought process, purchasing power, but it's invested into our cars, our phones, our houses, our clothing, our bags, our makeup, our holidays. But from a human point of view, exercise, sleep, dal chawal, my subject matter, is very basic. So a person turns up in a Merc, but still buys the same tomato that his or her housekeeping buys. What's the differentiator over there? And that's where longevity comes in. Not living to 100 with ill health, but living to 100 where you're able to squat. You're able to see probably your great grandchild. So the thought process over here is that, is this a fad, or is this medicine, or is this something serious? In my dictionary, with a thought process that I would like to live to 100, I'm currently 50 years of age. So at 50, what is my biological age? So I'm at 36 on my weighing scale, right? The idea is a financial thought process for the men, for the women, both. If I'm 15 years younger than my birth certificate age, imagine what I'm thinking when I'm 70. My father thinks at 78 it's time for him to go up. At 78, I want to think like I still have 25 years left. But that thinking cannot happen when you're in your 60s and 70s. It has to happen earlier. So what do? You can exercise. I want to open up this forum to questions and answers, okay? So you can exercise. You can sleep earlier. Sleep is the cheapest longevity biohacking tool. We were just discussing the book, right? How it affects your recovery. All of the tools here today will help you in living longer, feeling younger, having better health, having better blood chemistry, better biochemistry circulating in you. But if you compromise on your sleep, that's going to affect you. On parallel, if you eat junk food, food that is in your local restaurants with the most crappy oil, crappy ingredients. Look, I'm not going to attack any restaurant owners over here. Please don't tell me for a restaurant owner. But here's the thing. We operate our restaurants out of profitability. So you're not going to create a Ryan Fernando omelette, which is farm range eggs, because when we did the costing in a facility that I went to, the omelette was coming at raw material cost to 180 bucks. So at 4 times the value, nobody's going to pay 500 bucks for an omelette. The thought process over here is that when we go out on Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday night, we're eating outside food. So in the Scandinavian countries, in a university called Uppsala, they did research on eating outside processed food, basically junk food. They found over 3 days of tracking the sleep in the sleep lab that sleep duration was not affected. But when I read the study, deeper inside the study was written SWS sleep was shorter. Now, how many of you here are wearing a exercise wearable like a Whoop or an Apple? Raise of hands. Okay. When you go home, open up the sleep and look for SWS sleep. Start tracking that is my advice from today. SWS sleep is the deep sleep. It's also the sleep which releases stem cells at the highest value. Stem cells. What are stem cells? Longevity cells. When you have a glass of alcohol or 2 glasses of alcohol or 4 glasses of alcohol, Kunal also confirmed this to me, that you see that SWS sleep drops. I have 5 billionaire clients, all of them are wearing an exercise wearable. I tell them, sir, ji, सिर्फ SWS को देखने का. I don't tell them why. I think, भाई, last 6 days SWS 1.2 hours, 1.6 hours. कल मैंने whiskey 2 पैक मारा. Only 30 minutes, only 25 minutes. क्या हो रहा है? And next time you come and meet me. Next time you come and sir, SWS is beauty sleep. So you can see the wheels turning in their head. Like, क्या है Ryan bhai? Is there any alcohol that will give me deeper sleep? Right? But people say I do sleep better. That's not the SWS sleep. That's the REM and the other sleeps. So science today has evolved. And suddenly in Kolkata you're seeing that science in a hyperbaric chamber, in a infrared light. Olympic medal for India with Sushil Kumar. The bronze medal. In London we won the silver medal. Today I work with Kenneth Bednarik, who's the fastest 200-meter athlete in the world. You can Google him out. Kenneth Bednarik comes to Ryan Fernando, an Indian nutritionist, because we operated performance nutrition. None of this has come from medical science. It is all come from sports performance. The athlete wanting to break. So the cryotherapy that you see today is not being done today. It was being done 25 years ago by the Russian guys. How would they do heat tolerance? How would they do cold tolerance? And they mapped the data. Then they found enhancement in recovery, enhancement in protocols. Slowly those guys who are the sports and the medical industry, they started bringing this into the hospitals for treatments. HBOT has been used for cancer, HBOT has been used for brain strokes, HBOT has been used for recovery from burn patients. So many things, lung problems, lung trauma problems. Suddenly some guys thought, can we make this commercial because medical patients will use it only for the time of treatment of disease, 1 month. But in longevity, they're finding out that the spectrum of effect and the use of such devices is long. And hence this has now become what we call as a lifestyle pitch to people. So do I do longevity? Yes. In Bangalore where I work out, my gym is one of the luxury gyms which has all of this equipment inside the gym. Right? So maybe certain cities cannot do that because the mindset is different. अरे जिम का मेंबरशिप तो 12,000 साल भर दे सकता है. चलो ठीक है, luxury gym will give 30-40,000 rupees. All of this in a luxury gym cannot break even. So you have to make the effort of working out, but also coming and doing a longevity protocol. Now you know one question you'll ask me: can I give up my gym and do only this? You've got the heart to move. If you're a person who doesn't move at all, these protocols, any of them, are better than doing zero. There is no exercise, no diet, no sleep. These work. But when you compound each one of them, you do your genetic test, you do your microbiome test, you get your nutrition in place. Chalo, theek hai, 365 days in the year, 50 days, 52 Sundays are gone. 50 days, Sundays are some bahana you have. 100 days gone. So out of 365, 265 days, chalo 65 days I give it. At least 200 days try to be disciplined in what you're eating. So from that perspective, that's going to help you. Okay? So, drift's walking now? Yeah. So from that perspective, that's the way you start. Now people will ask me, but I have no time. I think time is one commodity that no nutrition guru, no exercise guru, no longevity guru can find a hack for you. However, when you compound all of these things, the time that you earn is not in your 24 hours. It's in the decade that you get. Right? So the reason I sign up high profile clients is because I'm 50 years of age. When I work with my team, they cannot understand how I have that mental capacity, how do I have that youthful exuberance to work. It comes from the philosophy of tick marking these boxes. Eat correctly, sleep correctly, breathe correctly. I don't have a breath coach. So let me share with you what I do. I have one of India's best karate senseis giving me private tuitions because I'm passionate about karate. I can't do it, my legs hurt, my back hurts. I start crying and moaning and bitching to him all the time. But he comes for 2 sessions a week. I have a chiropractor which I go to twice a month. No problems. He just cracks me here and then, I feel good. I have a massage therapist. He comes at least 3 times a month. Why? Because when I work out, there are knots. There is tightness in the body. He releases them. I've got a gym trainer. Kills me in the gym 3 times a week. 1.5 hour workout each time. I've got a physio who comes in on Tuesdays and Thursdays only to stretch me out. Sir, I will teach you the stretches. Fernando is too lazy to do the stretches. He's too tired. He's too busy. So on Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. I am watching TV and he's stretching me in my hall. Why? Because at 50 the body is tightening up. And I ask myself to stretch it and I hurt myself, I damage myself. So he does it. What am I trying to explain to you? The experts are helping me because I don't drink 4 glasses of Johnny Walker in a 5-star hotel that will cost me 12,000 bucks. I work with these guys. They make me keep walking. Johnny Walker is the one, keep walking. So this is the small things that I would like you to look at. The most important starting point was, it's not the 24 hours time that you don't have, but it is when you're 65, when you're 70, when you're 75, when you're 80. You will want that extra 5 years of no pain, no medicine living. And trust me, those are the people that walk into my clinic. And that's why I'm very passionate about doing this. Because I meet that 82-year-old grandfather and ask him, sir, what would you tell your younger self? I would tell my younger self to exercise. If there are rasgullas on the table, you can have the mental resilience to resist. By the way, if you have the mental resilience to do a cold plunge, you will find it easier to do a diet plan. Think about it. It's painful to get into a cold plunge. It's not so painful to say, I'll avoid sugar for 6 days. But it's very painful to do cold plunge consistently for twice a week for 52 weeks in a year. By the way, I don't know if you know, there was recently, about a year ago, there was a CEO of a leading hospital in Pune who was caught with cocaine. Okay, and there's a big case about it. How this goes? So, a lot of pressure, right? So you need a relief system, which is drugs. So the scientists have studied how cocaine works on the pleasure center in the brain and they have mapped it. Scientists have also studied when you cold plunge the pleasure center in the brain. I don't know. How many of you have cold plunged over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? You feel great after 6 to 8 hours. And the thing is, the pleasure center lights up at around 200% at the same equivalent of cocaine. So when that news was going on, and I've got a very sarcastic sense of humor at home, okay? So my wife was watching me. Son came on, leading CEO hospital gets caught with drugs and arrested. अरे भाई उसको बोलने का मेरे पास नहीं कर, कोल्ड प्लंज करेगा, no cocaine required. So there are benefits. For example, a cold plunge, a cryotherapy, because it's very difficult to. Once you start doing that, hey, to do a blood test regularly is quite easy. I want to know. Hey, let me look at my sleep. I want to know, because that's painful. A cryotherapy is painful. Sauna, not so much. Sauna is not painful. Is there a benefit from sauna? I don't know how many of you watch Huberman, but he's a Stanford neurobiologist. You should watch this guy. He's a scientist that brings complex scientific medical breakthroughs and dials it down to very simplified science. So it makes you understand that a sauna releases heat proteins that actually protect your body and release more stem cells. I know you want to tell me that Kolkata is really hot. If you turn off your AC and you drive in a car, it's going to be easy to get a sauna. But the temperature is closer to 71 to 75 degrees Celsius, where it's really hot. And the exposure is 19 to 30 minutes, depending on your comfort level. Again, this is the problem with everyone. They think they're James Bond when they start exercise program. They think they were Virat Kohli in school, so now suddenly they start a gym program, they go all out. When they start a diet plan, they don't do Ryan Fernando's basic nutrition plan. They want exotic diet plan. Day one, they want to do starvation, OMAD, nobody eases themselves into. Similarly with longevity programs. A lot of people come, they do it for 1 month, 2 months. No. Look at it for the next decade. Plan your budget. Plan your expenditure for the experts. Plan your expenditure for the equipment. Plan your expenditure for the nutrition. Plan your expenditure for the supplements. All of that put together is your game plan. And the final question that you'll ask me before I open up. Is it really worth it? Ask me 50 years from now and I'll answer your question. Okay, so you can rapid fire till that gets over or you can move.
What is Shahid Kapoor's protocol?
So Shahid Kapoor, so basically Shahid came to me for one role and every client has a medical issue. Okay, like if I take each one of us privately into a room, each person will have a medical issue. It can be in the brain, it can be in the respiratory system, it can be in the heart system, lungs, digestive system, could be in your pancreas, could be in your kidneys, could be joint problem. So he had a certain specific medical condition. So because my clinic operates medical nutrition, Anushka Sharma told him that Ryan Fernando does the proper thing because most film stars do bodybuilding nutrition. There's a role, you have to bulk up, you have to get six pack. So everyone nabaos protein powder. Protein laga do, fat roller laga do, do everything and they get the six pack. In the process of doing that, many of them harm their bodies or genetically, they're born with sensitive genes for different parts of the body. Right? So for example, I have a genetic deficiency for magnesium. So I cramp very easily. So I'm constantly taking a magnesium supplement. If I take a magnesium drip, I go to sleep. That's why I didn't ask for magnesium today. So with Shahid Kapoor, we worked on his gut poop test, the microbiome test. Then we constructed the foods that we need to give him. Before we did that, we asked him for a food intolerance blood test. Now I asked for a food intolerance blood test because when you tell somebody, please don't eat this food, especially in this city of Kolkata, where a lot of my clients are Marwadis, okay, they love their dairy because it's vegetarian, right? And so when I tell them the food intolerance report, you can't have paneer, you can't have dahi, you can't have milk, then they start arguing with me. Thank you so much. So thoughtful. Take this. I want to talk to you about water also. And so this is where you get the private sessions with me, okay? I don't talk about this outside. I actually buy Himalayan mineral water which comes in a bubble top. Then I pass that to a water filter that passes light and sound through it. The sound is basically I can choose on a USB drive what mantra I want pumped through the music in sound. The light is of a certain frequency and it's got silver and gold cathode in it which puts that into the water. Then that comes out and I pass it through a stainless steel tube called Jiva, and the Jiva water then compresses the hydrogen oxygen bonds and that's the water I drink. Why? Because some other guy outside there in India drives a Rolls Royce and I can't do that, but I can drink that water because 70% of my body is made up of that water.
Alkaline.
So alkaline is one level. So alkaline is saying, madam, मेरे को गाड़ी चाहिए. अभी मैं क्या बोल रहे हैं? कौन सा गाड़ी चाहिए? Right? So alkaline is one part. So you look at every level. What I would say to you is, in your home, be anal about the choices you make about your food, the air. If you have a HEPA filter system in your house, not the simple racks, you get your whole house under positive pressure. It costs 1.75 lakhs. For people sitting in this room, that's your vacation to Goa for one person. The room alone is 60,000 rupees. So what I'm trying to say is that get your air purified, get your water to the better level. And by the way, there's a research paper on children eating organic food in 4 days. They made them pee they ate organic food for 4 days, they made them go back to non-organic food. Within 24 hours, they found the chemical compounds back in the urine. So if you're wondering what you can do better for your child, try and source organic. Ryan, I don't know where to get it, how to get it. Dude, you can find out how you can get a Gucci and Louis Vuitton bag, which is not available, but you can't figure out where organic can come from. So I constantly tell people the choices of what you put into your body are more valuable than the choices that you get when buying a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes or a BMW.
How do you simplify the water bit for everyone? While you mentioned the services, what should we do? People here don't understand even the Jiva. I have a Jiva device. It's a stainless steel.
Oh, you have the Jiva device?
Yeah, I bought it. I keep researching. But it's difficult to explain to someone how water passing through the Jiva device kind of can change so much.
That's like a life straw filter, is it?
Yeah.
I just have
So a life straw filter, what life straw works on, it works on the silver ions in the life straw and kills everything. The Jiva water device is a stainless steel device which uses a patented structure, physical structure, which vortexes the water.
Okay.
And basically, they have proved in a lab that as it falls through that device, the ratio of the and I then send it for testing. Pesticide content is very, very low, almost non-negligible. So those are the waters I tend to go for. If people cannot afford this, and that's what India is asking me on YouTube, you take your normal tap water, you pass it through a good RO filter which strips it down, and then put that into a mud cup. A traditional Indian mud cup. You get everything there. Do a blood test for all your minerals. If anything is deficient, take a mineral as a supplement, because the water has to have minerals. So that's how I would do. But when people come to me for change, a lot of the film stars, sports athletes, the first thing I work on is water. Because the human body is 70% water. It's not dal chawal roti.
But most of these mineral waters come in plastic bottles, right? So there's a lot of talk about microplastics.
And we live in India, right? So what happens is, if you want the absolute utopia, we should not live in India because of the radioactivity, because of the pollution, because of the politics, because of everything. There is nothing we can do about that unless you are so rich that you have your own farm which has your own spring and you've tested it, and your tractor with a stainless steel tank reaches over there and gets it. So now I'm hunting for a property with a spring on it.
Awesome.
So basically the idea is, rather than buy something that's worth 1.5 crores as a luxury vehicle and showing it off, I want to find that spring. If I can't find it, I now go for the brands that I trust. That's the second best. Now my bubble top comes in plastic. What can I do about it? I still live on this planet. I'm reducing my burden as much. Today I had a cup of the purple tea on the flight, Indigo. It was still inside the paper cup, right? Microplastic. You've seen the Instagram video. I still had it. I felt guilty after having it. And then I'm like, but on the other hand, I did a cryo today. I did infrared. I'm doing IV infusion. I'm just hoping it balances out, you know. Wellness is better in good company. That's what it is.
So we'll do a quick
May I ask a
Q&A.
question?
Yes.
Sorry, not to get too specific, but because you're on the subject of water, we have a Mika water filter at home.
It's the same one that I'm
it's
using.
Okay, all right.
I'm using the makeup.
So I just wanted to know, we use borewell water, Mika water filter, but I don't know anything about this Jiva. Is
So-
there anything particular that
So
I
your
can add?
your borewell comes in,
Yes.
it's got the RO and then it goes in the Mika
Mika,
water.
yes,
So
right.
Mika is perfect. Once it comes out, I then just have a Jiva device on my table and I pass it through.
Okay.
What I would do if I was you, the Jiva comes with a threading. So I get my plumber to get, after it comes to the RO, before it enters the Mika, the Jiva is put in before that, so you don't have to manually do it.
Right. And would the Mika remove the minerals as well? Just like
The
you
depends.
mentioned?
So I put the Mika with the RO with the Hege bubble top. So there's no RO.
Okay.
So I buy the bubble top,
Okay.
and from the bubble top it goes directly to the Mika. My logic being that the gold and silver will kill any bacteria, and the minerals which are not being stripped by the RO is there. So you will have to look at the RO guide. You get the candles with the minerals. They come with specialized things.
Yes.
So you can experiment with that. On that.
Thank you.
And what about the candy water?
So Kangen water is alkaline water which gets ionized by electricity. So you're putting a charge to the water. To a certain extent, both hydrogen water and Kangen water is good. So because the, the studies that are done are on certain populations and small amount of people, what I say is split your water. If you can afford Kangen, don't drink all Kangen.
Okay.
Drink
30%, 40%.
drink like 4-5 glasses. So Kangen could be gym water
Right.
or early morning water. The Jiva could be another time. One fair warning for people who own Kangen water filters: the servants do not know how to operate it. So you go on one side and you get acidic pH, one side you get alkaline. So those guys dial it down. I remember I had this case, and it's a good device. Huh? The problem is when you have too much of technology, it's a little dangerous, right? So what happens is the maid servant put the alkaline by mistake to I think 8.6 or 8.8. Too high. So the lady started coming to me and complaining, and my diet was perfect, and we reversed the whole problem. She had some IBS and gut problem now. And then she was cured for a year, she continued, she reviewed for another 2 years, and we were great. In the third year now, she's like, brand new problems come back. It's like I'm making a short story now, but this was weeks of going back and forth where she's literally complaining to me, right? Something's wrong, something. So I'm like, man, just check your alkaline water, because when acidity goes down, the food doesn't digest. You need acid, right? So the alkaline water was going in, blunting the acidity. So she was not digesting her proteins well, and she loved to work out. So she was also taking a protein shake. So we figured out the protein shake, the bloat, the Kangen water, and then the servant had set it to 8.8. So she had never gone into the kitchen, and she was getting that high 8.8. So this is the only problem with the Kangen.
So you should have but operate it yourself and have 1/4 of your water diet from there.
So Kunal, what happens is the other day I endorse a cookware called TMC.
Right.
It's a German cookware. It's waterless and oilless cooking, and it cooks to a certain temperature with an audiotherm. Meaning the moment it reaches the temperature, it tells you shut it off.
Right.
So my media manager was like, sir, you're not taking this home. So I just smiled at him. I said, Mehul, you can't give a rocket to the janitor. The rocket won't take off. So the problem with being at an affluent level in India is we have all the help to take care of all the menial work. But things like cooking, food, water, I think another part of the luxury is what a few people in the world are talking now is the quantum signature energy. Meaning when you cook something, if you cook it with love, when you pour a glass of water and you pour it with love, they are not yet able to measure the quantum signature. But BK Shivani, the Brahma Kumari, I had a podcast with her. So I remember the water came in and she held the glass. And I cheekily asked her what she's doing. I know about it, right? But I wanted to get the sound right. She says, in our place, nobody can cook, nobody can cut vegetables. First they meditate, they pray, and then they do it. So I think this is something that money can't buy. It's more a vibration element of love. So as a dad at home, the Jiva water in the morning, I go to one kitchen. There are 6 jars. I'll fill all 6 jars. And you can see the domestic help during the day. They'll go directly to the Hege bubble top, fill it and keep it there. But the bubble top in the other kitchen is a gravity flow through the Jiva.
Right.
So those are the things that obviously you have to know. Questions?
A lot of people here have questions in terms of when you can get all the good from the sun. Why do you use the red light bed and the MCS that we're talking about?
I went in with my undies. You can't find me with the undies outside. Simple answer. Ladies, where the hell are you exposing skin? Even when you go to a beach vacation, women are not exposing their skin. Women need infrared more than anybody else. If it's private inside, get in over there, get maximum skin exposure, collagen production goes up, fine line wrinkles come down. You should see my wife. She's hounding me for an infrared for her 50th birthday. What do you want? Babes, diamond, gold? No. You want a convertible? No. I want infrared at home. Why at home? The gym has it. The gym has it. Go over there. It's a ladies' gym. No, you can. I want infrared at home. I suggest to keep the infrared as a business to sell also. All the ladies are
Start selling that.
No, but please do the infrared. It's got the frequencies. There are protocols. Follow it. And simple. If you think it's not working, do 2 independent assessments yourself. Check your resting heart rate for the full year. So if you go to Apple or Google, you can put 6 months. See if your resting heart rate is dropping. Right? Second, what no man can do, all women can do. They look at their face, they look at their body in the mirror, and they judge. If it's working, you will know. If it's not working, you will come and bite one of their heads off here. Disclaimer, please do at least 20 to 25 sessions. Gap should be of infrared on 3 days, 4 days.
So you can do 3-4 sessions a week.
Yeah.
4 sessions a week, easy.
No, but there's something. My mom is a classic example. My mom's this beautiful 79-year-old. Mommy, you need some sun. My mom pulls up her beautiful cotton slacks that she has up to here. She's wearing socks on her feet. And she's rolled up her sleeves. She's pulled this down here. She's opened it little. I have a tummy, no? And she's walking on my terrace. I'm like, Mommy, there's a private terrace over there. Just go, stay in your chaddies and brand. I can't do all of that stuff. So, getting an infrared for mother and wife, getting it privately.
You were mentioning about the sauna at 70, 80 degrees. How is normal sauna versus your infrared sauna?
I think it's from a science point of view. The normal sauna is heat higher, right? So you will release heat proteins. But let's rewind logic. When do you sweat? When you're in the sun.
Right.
So the sun provides you that infrared spectrum. So what they have concluded with individual studies on infrared is there is a cellular rejuvenation, mitochondrial activation with infrared, not only with heat. Heat does produce a stress protein, but it's like saying both heats are there. So both are cars, but one's a better car than the other. So that is that.
So who should take a steam and who should take sauna in that place?
So, staying with the same question, sauna and steam. Again, it's a heat protocol, right? So, the steam is a wet heat. So, it's great for opening up your lungs. Or you, in Kolkata, not so much because you have high humidity. If you live in a place like me, Bangalore, which has got 40 humidity, we are all the time in ACs and all, and you want some humidity going into your lungs to clear it up. The second thing is if you've ever gone for a facial, which we men hardly ever do, that's a great way of getting a natural body facial. Steam will open up your pores. So that's going to clean you down. So do you have steam over here?
No, because I write for the weather, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So the point over here is that you probably can set up a steam at home or you could go to a gym. But the difference over here is that if you're doing a sauna, then you're asking for the Rolls Royce of a sauna, which is not a brand. Do I get infrared? And the only reason you want a steam sauna is to get the pores to open up to cleanse.
One more question. When we come here for wellness, what should be the standard? Hot, cold, hot or cold, hot?
Oh, that's a good question. You know how I built my clinic? People ask me, should I take creatine? Should I take protein high? Should I? So my clinic is called QA. Qua in Latin means incapacity of. You have to discover your capacity. Mine is first hot, then cold. I feel like $1 million. If I do hot first and then I do, which one do I feel better? So if I do legs, after legs I do hot. And I don't do cold immediately, I do cold after 6 hours. I don't do contrast therapy. I do contrast therapy on days of recovery. So there's no gym. Do you gym?
No.
Then you have no issue doing a contrast. Just see which one you're comfortable with. What it should be is what time of the day you're exiting here. If you're exiting at night, I would finish with a hot. So you go back and you feel nice and calm and relax and all. If you're going out in the morning, then you want to feel rejuvenated, I would end with cold. And again, watch your heart rate. So you'll figure out what works for you.
And supplements, I think everyone's confused with so many supplements and what you are taking. How often do you take this?
So IV infusions at the start, when somebody is doing like a 6-month transformation, 3 times a week or as per doctor's advice. See, as a nutritionist, I only give a supplement when I find it lacking. As a sports nutritionist, I will give 22 supplements because he has to win an Olympic medal. But when somebody doesn't need to win an Olympic medal, so people come to me, creatine, should I take it? Because look, the honest opinion here is this. Right now, if you see on Instagram, creatine is being aggressively promoted, berberine is being aggressively promoted, and NMN. There is a lobby out there. When they produce that, they will produce so many thousands of tons. Then they will sell it to all the contract manufacturers. Then there will be all the brands. So there is a narrative being pushed based on the success of that molecule. So if you've seen, creatine is a voluminous story that is going on about brain health. One study came out, brain health, brain health, brain health. But do you know creatine is produced from petrochemical?
Seriously?
Yeah. Google it up. Ask AI. So I give creatine only to elite Olympic level athletes. I may experiment with creatine with older people for a 6-month period after looking at their liver function and kidney function test. And in my clinic when I work with a functional medicine doctor. कि डॉक्टर साहब इसको दे सकते हैं हाँ ठीक है डाइट के अंदर because I can't give red meat because creatine is found in red meat. So supplements are a nutritional convenience for your nutritional indiscipline. Supplements are a nutritional convenience for your nutritional indiscipline. So get disciplined in dal chawal roti, do the blood test, check for vitamin and minerals, look at your BMI, look at your muscle percentage, look at your fat percentage, get all of that done. I would actually do longevity programs above supplements. Why? Doing a hyperbaric chamber and let's say taking plant protein for 3 months, I can have a greater side effect from plant proteins than hyperbaric chamber because that goes in chemically. All of this is being done physically. This is the only one that's chemical, which they have a doctor on board. So she actually asked me all of these questions before I took an IV. She said, how many times have you done it? And the reason I'm doing it here today, I would have never done this for the first time because I don't know how my body would react. And I've noticed one thing today, I stumbled 2-3 times on a few words, which has never happened. So I'm wondering, something in my heart. Well, you have my phone? Is my heart rate normal?
Checking.
Okay, questions. Kunal's asking all the questions.
Yeah, so there is a lot of stigma attached to supplements
Yes.
as it is. I mean, every time a new supplement comes out or every time something new is discovered, someone is out there saying that, food is, this will supercharge your food, this will increase your food and all kinds of crazy.
Especially the sleep comings which are very popular with these
So
medicines.
my question is that at what point of time do we feel that this is just too much supplements? We really don't need these many supplements.
What's your name, sir?
Rishik.
Rishik. So Rishik, it's like this, okay? Somebody met me at the airport. That is even more beautiful. I'm just joking with her. Sir, you're influencer. Arey beta, before as influencer, I have a nutrition clinic. I've been a nutritionist my entire life. Because I have 200 dietitians on my team, I have to do this influencing thing. Today what's happening is, everybody wants to be famous on a camera and they don't have background set up. So that person who's telling you it's good, you check the credentials. I don't want to take the name of, there is a very famous doctor, gastro doctor, suddenly doing nutrition, right? My point is, thank you so much. My point is very, very simple. Subject matter expert, number one. Who are they and what are their qualifications? Are they running a product or are they running a service? Do they have their own product? Do they have their own service? Are they pushing a product? Are they pushing a service? I come and sit you today, I have a collagen product, one collagen product. I have not talked to you about collagen till now. I have no interest in selling you collagen. I have no interest in making a reel on collagen because there are 50 other manufacturers out there. Point here is this. People are trying to sell supplements based on misinformation. This is why doctors are getting pissed off. Because doctors say you don't need these things, and they are right. Why would you need these things? Now, give me an example of any supplement that you have heard of, and I'll give you the for and against.
Resveratrol.
Resveratrol. Oh. Okay guys, there's nothing in my ears. There's no Google Glass, nothing. This is now 25 years of experience. Dr. David Sinclair has said that resveratrol is one of the greatest elements, thank you so much, equivalent to metformin in lowering blood sugar levels. Right? So, thank you so much. So, resveratrol comes from where? Grapes. The skin of grapes. Resveratrol, because they found it is in skin of grapes, the alcohol lobby said, drink 3 glasses of wine, very good for your heart health. Now Dr. David Sinclair came back and said, the amount of resveratrol for activating the sirtuin genes is equivalent to 1100 bottles of wine, 1100 glasses of wine. So there was a lobby that was pushing alcohol. Now, resveratrol is great, super duper. 2 years ago, breast cancer patient came to our clinic. So I hire the IIT of dietitians in my company. I pay them really well. I built a brilliant business model. I'm not funded. Whatever profits I come, I share it with my dietitian. I told my dietitian, she's come, breast cancer, she wanted to have kids, did fertility treatment. She was not supposed to do fertility treatment. We were supposed to do her gene test. She didn't listen, confused that she was, went and got breast cancer. She went to UK. Her doctor told her to do all of this tests and all. So she says, my nutritionist in India asked me to do this when I started the fertility treatment. So he told her, had you done this before doing your fertility, we would have told you you were a right candidate with BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene. And she shouldn't have done fertility treatment. Now, big shot me, I told my dietitian, post-cancer therapy, let's give her resveratrol. Anti-aging, good skin, anti-aging. Dietitian shot me down immediately. There is so in breast tissue, there's estrogen and progesterone, positive and negative. So I'm not an expert in that department. She says, Ryan, resveratrol activates breast cancer in her. Now what do I say for resveratrol? It's great, equivalent to metformin, anti-aging, but on the other side, it activates breast cancer for some person. So nutritional supplements, like medicines, should be authorized in conjunction with a medical expert, not internet advice. That's the problem. Everyone's becoming an expert. My mother is a nutritionist. My own mother. You should eat this, and I'm sitting there and looking at her going, man, degrees are here, 2 master degrees on the wall and everything. So everyone's a health expert. Have you noticed that? Everybody's a health expert. Even the unfittest person, unfittest is not a word, most unfit person, right, is giving you advice. So suddenly you will get your housekeeping at, sir, ये product ले लो, बहुत अच्छा muscle बनाएगा, ये दवाई ले लो, मतलब ये multivitamin ले लो. So it's all being pushed at the end of the day.
So coming to protein, so now everybody's talking about 100 gram protein, and like my son who's 18 now, they are also going out to gym and like watching a lot of reels and all, so they have started protein. So what do you think of, like, for kids of my age and for my age, which is almost close to yours, like what is it?
I think generally if you look at it, protein as a subject is not toxic or poisonous. When you take protein and put it to a person, it can be good and it can be bad. The same with water, the same with carbohydrate. Rice is good. Too much of rice, क्या होता है? Diabetes. Too much of rice, मोटापा. Too little rice, brain doesn't work. Then you go to ketosis. The point I'm trying to make to you is that there is a narrative being pushed. So, what year was it? 2017, I met one of the directors of Glanbia in India. Glanbia is the largest dairy in the world which owns Optimum Nutrition and half a dozen other brands. What is their narrative? At that time, they were doing 938 crores in protein powder alone in India. Now, if you're that big a company, sir, what business do you do?
Went to manufacturing of recognition for some awards and trophies.
Awards and trophies. Sir, how will you increase the consumption of trophies in our country? You will propagate more sports. Grassroots level. Kindergarten में trophy दे दो.
Yeah,
हाँ, so you will start pushing the narrative. Understand?
Yeah. That's what.
So now you understand why protein is being pushed. Now who will they push it to? People like you and me are little bit sane. हम तो नहीं खाया ये सब चीज. Go to the young guys. So your internet is pushing a narrative of building a body. Meet, in fact, one of my dietitians there.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, one of my dietitians there.
Was in Kolkata also.
Was in Kolkata. Very interesting story about Kolkata.
Yeah.
Ronadeep invited me to Kolkata 10 years ago. Like, Ryan, you come to Kolkata, you open a gym and you open a nutrition clinic and endorphins. Every research report we had done said that Kolkata will fail. Madam, I broke even in 3 days in this city. 3 days I broke even. Kolkata has the highest spending clientele in nutrition in the history. I don't know what it is about the people of Kolkata. Either you have traveled the world over or you love your food too much. Therefore, you need to go to a dietitian and confess this thing. But we do all of that in Kolkata.
We have a QR code scan. You can.
Yeah, so there is a QR code, you can scan it. So if you want to do the poop test, the functional medicine test and the genetic test, then once you get all of that done, obviously the idea is you're doing it because you want to prepare a scientific nutrition plan. So I tell people, when you want to change your body, start with the sleep, start with the exercise, start with the diet plan. These are the fundamentals. Then you bring, once you start improving all of that, you want to booster rocket it, start getting in the IV infusion, start getting the infrared, start getting in the cold plunge. And once that becomes stable, you will start seeing your body going younger and younger. First stage, stop your aging. Because at around 40, 42, you start seeing the first signs. So those of you under say 40 in this room, few of you are under 40 in this room, catch it. If you're under 50 in this room, start weight training, especially the women. My wife has stopped walking with me because Stacy Sims at Movement told women should not walk or do any cardio, they should just weight train. Devika is 48 kgs and does a sumo squat grabbing a 60 kg dumbbell. I bloody hell can't lift a 60 kg dumbbell. So it is the stimulation that, oh, Stacy Sims told that for menopause, as you go towards menopause, you start putting on more fat, only weight training adds on muscle which prevents you from going big.
So with regard to the protein, what he has asked, when should one take protein or who should take protein in what quantity?
So when should one take protein and stuff like that? See, we calculate as 1 gram per kg body weight. So I'm assuming you're around 92 kgs? Huh? 96. So if you want to lose weight, I'll do a 1.5 grams per kg body weight. Are you vegetarian?
Yes.
So I would have to do a nutritional supplement because if I try to do it naturally, your calories would go up. Trying to achieve 150 grams of protein, your chart would go to 3000 calories naturally. Like because most proteins are 10% in vegetarian diet. So doing a protein powder, finding it at a food intolerance is the first step. Hit 150. Divide that into 4 meals a day. So roughly around 25-30 grams per meal. So you put that in. Once you put that in, you decide whether it's by powder or it's by natural foods or superfoods. Timing, post any gym training should be the highest quantity, maximum 30 to 50 grams. But if there's no weight training, which you said earlier, you don't have to. Can I give you one? There was a research paper done. Post swimming, appetite increases 3x.
Yes.
There's a study done. So I advise any client trying to lose weight never to swim. Weight train, walk. Drop 12 kgs, 15 kgs, then start swimming. Or if you have bad knees, and stuff like that, then swim. Explore and Garcinia Cambogia. It's a curry spice from Kerala. Garcinia Cambogia. It's an appetite suppressor. So when you're swimming, you take that, so it suppresses your appetite.
What's the curry spice again?
Garcinia Cambogia.
So no one has questions on sleep.
Yeah. How much
Everybody
SWS?
I'm just trying to
How much
understand
SWS?
Melatonin.
Melatonin. So see, look at the end of
And the
the day.
husband takes, but he still doesn't sleep.
See, melatonin is not a sleep. It's a amino acid that is good for health at the end of the day. So